Kia ora, everybody. Welcome to the Unable Seaman podcast, the podcast designed to take a light-hearted look at all things boating and fishing in New Zealand. I'm your host, Jake Kerr, and joining me once again is my first mate, best mate, Christian Jensen. How are you, my friend?
Hey man, I'm good. I was introduced the first time as a special guest, and so what am I now? Esteemed? The only other person?
A pest that won't go away.
No one else wants to be on your show.
My only friend. But we're back for part two. How good?
Mean.
We had a part one, and thank you to all the people that tuned in for that. That was certainly our loosest episode to date, including Christian holding up nude woman and labelling one of New Zealand's trailer boat makers, or suggesting that perhaps he likes a backdoor situation.
You know, my mate Nige messaged me after that one, and he said that was fantastic. He just loved it.
Well, Nige, if you're listening, thanks for tuning in, and I'm glad you liked it. I also spoke to someone about that, by the way, because I was like, what's the rules around like defamation and just basically saying that sort of thing? And apparently, it can only be classed as defamation if he can prove it's not true. So that's true. So if he was to come out of the woodwork and sue you for defamation, which he probably quite rightly so if he did listen, he would actually have to prove that in fact he does not like it.
That'd be quite hard to prove, wouldn't it?
So I think you're safe there, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway, we promised a slightly more serious episode this month. And,
no, you did.
I did. Yeah, Christian didn't. We've got plenty to talk about, including our favourite trailer boats for this summer, just what was sort of seen on the water and what we're really enjoying at the moment. I want to talk about yachts, believe it or not.
No, you would never want to.
Yeah, well, I think yachts are onto something. I really do.
No, okay. Yeah, hey, I've got one on my watch list on Trade Me.
You got a yacht?
I do want to share it with you. Yeah.
Okay, we'll come to that. Some safety tips for going to sea, because I mean. You and I
haven't got a good record. I've got a better record than you.
Hence why I want to pick your brains, bro. But I'm a changed man these days. I actually report.
You know what? Not only are you wanting to be safe at sea, you also have done some preventative maintenance.
I know, an absolute world first. First.
Your dad needs to take note, eh?
He does need to take note. And then I also want to just touch on a couple of new boats that have come out, including a Legacy 70 and a Sea Ray designed by an all-woman design team. So plenty to pick up and mull over.
That's just bloody washing, isn't it?
Oh, God, here we go, straight into it. Another episode where we get cancelled, bro.
Go for it. I'm interested in this all-woman design team.
Well, we'll pick that up a little later. We'll get into the guts of it, though, how we always start, which is what have you been doing boating and fishing-wise recently?
I love this. You always ask me, and it's like, oh, I know the answer. Hey, actually, I went out and I had a windsurfing lesson.
Did you?
Yeah. While I was in Nelson for Christmas, Mark took me out. My first lesson, I snapped his mast, and so this was lesson 2.0, and it was a hoot. It was an absolute hoot. It's a really humbling sport, let's just say, and I can't windsurf yet, but it was a blast.
So was it a foiling one? Because I'm seeing a lot of these foiling ones around now.
Oh man,
that is cool.
That is the dream, eh? I'd love to be able to foil. And so Mark's like, well, you probably want to learn the basics of windsurfing because there ain't no rudder. So It's not like sailing a dinghy like we used to do when we were younger. You somehow steer it with your feet and where you tilt the mast forward and backwards. But man, getting on it, eh? It's a workout. Have you done paddleboarding?
I've done a little bit of paddleboarding, yeah.
If you paddle any distance, you notice your feet and your core is like sore afterwards?
Well, you picked up an interesting thing of foiling. For those that don't know, Christian and I live in separate parts of the country, but we've got an upcoming meet up at Lake Rotuiti in a few weeks' time.
Excited,
and I'm bringing my foiling board to tow behind.
Yes.
And I want to see you foil. More. I will make sure exactly. I want to post videos and put them on our @Unable Seaman Instagram channel with you falling off and breaking various limbs. So that'll be something for all our listeners to tune in and see. But the beauty with foiling.
Go back. Like, it's always been a dream, right?
Yeah.
You know, we've loved it. You watch the America's Cup, you go, man, that's cool. And then you go on YouTube and you go down that, like, rat hole of you start off with the guys foiling on, I don't know, windsurfers, and then guys foiling on those cool things with like a wing sail thing.
Yeah.
It's like inflatable wing sail. And then you see the guys falling on stand-up paddleboards, and you just think, oh, this is epic. So the first step is to learn to windsurf. Second step, foiling windsurfer.
Okay, so that's the way to do it. Because I've been foiling behind the boat, and I've actually cracked it. It's good fun, and it's so much better than anything else you can do behind a boat. You're gliding and you're flying. We went for a wake skate the other night, Becky and I just felt heavy and slow. I was like, man, what's all this bloody drag?
Oh, you can actually feel it, can you?
Well, because I was on a wake skate.
Yeah, so I suppose going from because is yours an air chair?
No, it's effectively a wakeboard that you stand on, and it flies and it foils.
Oh, I'll have to watch your video again. For some reason, I thought it was an air chair. Actually, hey, as a side note, you asked about a wakeboard. Did you want my wakeboard?
Yes, I do want your wakeboard.
Okay, I'll bring it up with me.
Yeah, cool. Good time to bring up Edmund, during the podcast. I'm sure everyone's riveted by our holiday plans. Anyway, back to the original question. So you'd been doing some windsurfing.
That was a hoot. Yeah.
Well, you attempted it.
I attempted it. Got smoked. Yeah, it was great fun.
Well, that's a big improvement from you, Christian, because last time I asked that question, you said you'd given the life jacket to your kid to run around in at home. That was the only thing you'd done for boating, which is probably why that last podcast didn't perform that well.
Nah.
Listeners switched off.
The two leaders of Boating New Zealand basically here right now, and one's just not pulling his weight, eh?
He's not.
And,
I, on the other hand,
you've been on the polar opposite.
I have been the polar opposite. Last episode, for those that tuned into part one, I revealed that I bought a Raglass 650, my new toy, and summer. It's been an ordinary summer weather-wise, and we'll pick that up in a second, but we've been absolutely thrashing it. Just got back from 2 nights out on the Bay of Islands. Did a night at Cowell, which was a new experience for us as well. Beautiful place out
See the mansion?
Yep, saw Mansion House Bay and snorkeled round that little shipwreck thing there. Just a magic place. The only thing I'll say, Sandspit, what a pain in the ass to launch from. If you're thinking of going to Cowell, so there's a public boat ramp, which you can't launch anything more than a kayak because it's tidal. There's no parking or anything. So you go to the yacht club, which again has no parking, and has this app. It has this gate. So you got to download this app, which doesn't work, to open the gate. So we shagged around there for like 20 minutes. No one helped us. But anyway, finally we got some traction, got this bloody gate to open, and then I had to park, I kid you not, 4K away from the upper hill.
Oh, man.
Oh, it was punishing. The trip was worth it, but that really sucked the life out of it. So if you're thinking of going to that area, maybe look at perhaps Omaha or Lee or...
Oh, man, you'd go as far as Lee, would you? Far out.
I would, to dodge that. But beautiful spot. But anyway, back to the Raglass. It has just been everything I've wanted in a boat, particularly this summer, bro. This summer, as I mentioned a second ago, the weather has not been good. We've had easterly winds, just constant easterlies. There's been there's been rain and stuff as well, but even on the nice days, it's just been windy, and it's been so nice to have a boat that you can plow through the crappy stuff, get to a bay, and then still have a summer. Because once you're out of the wind, it's actually been really nice. Yeah. We had a beautiful day yesterday. Becky swam with dolphins. The fishing's rubbish at the moment. God, I don't know if anyone's catching fish out there, but we are.
Well, here's the thing. Chelsea's like, hey, do you want to go out in the boat? This is like, while I was on holiday. And I said to her, I was like, you know what? I actually rather wait until the fishing's back on and all the Aucklanders are gone.
I don't know if that's it. I've been really thinking about this question.
Like every summer between, I don't know, mid-December and late Jan, fishing's crap. Boat noise.
Maybe I've forgotten that, but I just wonder if their fish aren't there full stop. I wonder if we've just taken such they've taken such a hit. I'm sure there's people listening going, bullshit, like I catch lots of fish, and I'm sure there are still fish to be caught, but it's not like it used to be.
Like what is the effort that you're putting in to get that, eh?
Yeah.
How far do you have to go?
Which brings me on to my next topic about yachting. So, long story of how we got here, but very recently I took my jet ski from Kawakawa Bay to the CBD of Auckland in a race versus a car to basically prove that getting around Auckland was easier by sea. And if you want to tune into our YouTube channel, at Unable Seaman, punch it in, you'll find that video there, and I won't give too many spoilers away on how that ended up. But the reason I brought it up was that it's about doing something different at sea, not just taking the rods. What else? What can we go and kill? It's can we get on the water and have some fun? And
Yeah.
I think yachties have got this nailed.
Where's your... Normally this is... Jake's got a comment about yachties. I'm waiting for the stab in the
No,
back.
this isn't a stab. I genuinely... I mean, yeah, they wear those stupid, like, sandal... You know those, like, sandal shoe things? I don't even know where
Oh,
you buy
man.
them.
I've got a friend that has those. I call them the tourist ones.
The tourist, yeah.
Sandals. You know...
Just wear a shoe or a jandal.
Or just don't wear... Just go bare feet.
Just
you know?
go barefoot.
Yeah.
But apart from that and sort of a bit of BO, most sailors are cool people. And...
Well, okay, yeah.
And
yeah. What a comment. Most, oh, you have a boat, and we normally like to rip into you for being a windjammer, but you're okay. You're okay.
But they go out there. The fun isn't getting there. They use, obviously, the wind, so, small
No
carbon
fuel.
footprint. They're out there just for the pure enjoyment of being on the water.
Sailing around, drinking copious amounts of beverages.
Exactly. And then they race each other. So, like, they've actually got an activity that doesn't involve killing something or harming something. They're just racing around with a small carbon footprint.
Yep.
Mate, this probably isn't a surprise.
This is not the Jake I know. Becky, call me on the other line. I need to have a chat to you. What have you done to my Jake? He is not a sailor. Well, okay, he has a sailing past, and he definitely knows how to race sailboats. But wow, Jake.
I'm not going to go out and buy a yacht. That's a stupid idea. I've got a jet ski.
I want to show you a yacht that I think you would buy, because I see it, and all I see is adventure when I see it.
What are you, writing the pamphlet for a gay nightclub?
Well, if that's the sort of adventure you want, but I wouldn't go down that track. Well, it's named after you. It's called Snowflake.
Oh, here we go. So this better not be a trailer sailor, because
no, it's massive. It's a 60-foot bloody, I don't know what you call it, expedition launch.
60 foot?
Yeah, is that big?
That's huge. Where are you going to keep that?
In the marina.
So...
At least the mast is always up. It's not one of those ones where you got to like disassemble it and like.
Oh, that's a trailer.
You know.
So send this through, and I'll make sure for our listeners. Obviously, this is an audio medium. I'll put the link for this or the picture of this particular pile of shit that Christian's about to show me on our page at Unable Seaman.
Okay. No, I still think it's mean. But hey, I'm proud of you. Proud of you that you actually think sailing's kind of cool. See, I liken. You know, you give me shit about launches. Those old launches that do like 8 knots and use like no fuel.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No.
The joy is in the chugging to whatever destination you've kind of decided to make your way to.
No, I know where you're going with this, because I know you've got your bloody eye on a couple of these things. At least yachties. So yachties go slow, but they're using the wind, and there's the sound of nature and all that sort of stuff that they go on.
Yep.
Chugging along in your own diesel fumes with the sort of repetitive same dug. It's torture.
Mate, that sounds like you every podcast for me.
I see some of these things chugging around the bay, and I just think your holiday is your precious time. You work all year for this precious time, and you waste it chugging about at 7 knots.
Well, okay, otherwise I get a bayliner and I'm behind, I don't know, Coast Guard, getting towed back. That's always an option.
Okay, so Christian just showed me this thing, and I've got to give it... So is it a centerboarder?
It's got a drop keel, and it like pulls it up, and it only has half a metre draw. And so why
is one of the photos of it on the beach? Has he grounded it?
Because you can beach it.
Well, why would you want to do that? A boat's supposed to float.
Yeah, but you can pull up somewhere on the beach and just go into the real shallow stuff and stay the night there if you want to. No lap of the water there.
But the best thing of being on a boat is that you're at sea, you're floating. Why would you want to...
you can float away next tide. Keep going.
How long does the tide take, Christian? It's 6 hours.
Well, you're in a sailboat, bro. It's going to take you ages to get anywhere anyway. Carry on.
Where do you dump the toilet? I'm looking at the pictures, but what... This is like... Look, I see why you like it, but there's too many nooks and crannies.
That's awesome, eh?
I'd be claustrophobic in this thing. Well, I just don't know why you'd want to beach it.
Okay, get out of this detail of the beaching, bro. Look at the sailing part.
The best thing about my boat is I can run it aground.
But seriously, how epic.
Well, look, it's a big boat. It's 60 feet. Of course, it's a big boat, and $700,000, Christian.
Do you know how much it was for sale for in 2012 when I first saw it?
No.
400,000.
So what? It's got older and gone up.
Yep. Someone has bought it and then changed all the interior to like a
to plywood.
Yeah, and that funny like brown tan sort of stuff. And then they're like, cool, now we're going to charge $300,000 more.
You know, there's so much wood in here. You know that like the back bit of Mitre 10 where you can drive in and like load your wood straight onto your trailer? That's what it looks like.
But, okay, anyway, stop.
But hang on, 60 feet and it's got a centreboard. Let it roll over.
It must have a massive centreboard, eh?
I just only you would pick a boat that you could, like, okay, if that was just a nice 60-foot yacht, I could get that. Why would you pick a boat that the best thing about it is you can put it onto the beach?
I reckon that's fantastic. But anyway, carry on. Show me your stuff. Chop chop.
Well, no, I haven't found any yachts. But what I want to talk to you about...
So you like the idea of yachts, but where's your, you got to bring something to the party here.
Well, I don't want to buy one. What I was going to bring to the party is I wanted to know your favourite sailing memory.
Oh. Oh, okay. I've got a couple, man. You know, my favourite sailing memory with you. Okay. Your dad owned a half shares in a Townsend, didn't he?
It was a Stewart, but
Stewart.
Yeah, old wooden thing, yes, yeah. Stewart 32 for those that that care.
Yeah, and I remember we rocked up to the Bay of Islands in your gaunty Primera with the little wing that goes, your spoiler that rattled away, and your neons
like
tied on
Pagani Huayra with Active Aero.
Yeah, Active Aero. I was going to say bailing twine holding everything on. And we got to the Bay of Islands. Your dad's like, let's take the boat out. And I was like, cool. So we jumped in your whatever boat you had at the time, and we switched over, like we're in the powerboat, and then we'd go and sail that one, and then we went and found some cool cruise ships to go and check out, and then parked up in a bay. It was just fantastic. And I think your dad stayed on the boat. Yeah,
I think you might have. That was a cool yacht. We did have a lot of good times in that yacht. I could sail it by myself, which was pretty cool for us only young at the time, maybe early 20s, and I could sail this 32-foot yacht by myself and put it under the mooring without the engine. It was really good fun.
Yeah.
My happiest sailing memory is a video that we need to release. Is probably sailing my laser from Auckland to Coromandel whilst racing you.
I don't know if that was your happiest memory, bro.
Seriously, we did do this, and I raced Christian on a scooter, and we filmed it. We're yet to finish the editing on that video. It's only been 3 years, but that will come soon. I won't give too much away, but that was cool to be at one on this little boat on a big wide ocean. That was quite a special experience. And you sailed all the way from Auckland to Coromandel. I did. Drifted, probably more accurate description. I also learnt to sail on a P class, where I was on a P class as a kid, and I used to have this big rope dangled out the back that Dad would stand on the beach, like taking a dog for a walk sort of thing. And I'd sail up and down, and then I'd cry when the wind stopped or when it got too much, and I flipped, and Dad would pull me in and tell me he's going to be all right. That's cold. I love that. You're so hardcore, man. But yeah, I do think we need to start thinking about other ways to enjoy the sea, and perhaps for most people this isn't new to them, but it's really hit me this summer with the fishing. Like, the fishing has not been good, or certainly for me anyway. And so we've got to think about how we can look after the environment but still enjoy the sea. And I think jet skiers have got it fine too. They get a bad name, but they just go out there and piss everybody off, then go home. They don't hurt any fish. Great story, eh? I think jet skiers got it. So we're going to liken jet skiers to sailors. Yeah. On the water, and they're enjoying it for the water. Yeah. Yeah, I can see they wouldn't like to be sort of bundled into the same, the same category.
Yeah, minor detail, minor detail.
Yeah, minor detail. Now, if we're bundling up yachties and jet skiers into the same category, probably time to move on. What I want to talk about next is safety, which sort of flows on from jet skis, and I want you to talk about a time that you've needed. Well, first of all, what's your ultimate safety tip for those hitting the water for the first time?
Life jackets. Take life jackets.
Yep.
Yeah, man, and have them easy accessible.
Yeah.
One thing is being on the water and your battery goes flat. Yeah, that's fine. But if you go on the water and you're starting to sink, you really want a life jacket.
Yeah, and I would, all jokes aside, I would absolutely second that. There's so many drownings, and you read about in the paper, and it's because no one has a bloody life jacket on board.
And you might be able to swim. Yeah. Hey, like if you can swim for an hour, that's cool. What happens after the hour?
Yeah. And what happens if you get knocked out or something? Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Well, my piece of advice was, and a little bit of an unable seaman top tip, actually, you could sort of save a bit of money, is that if you want to get we fully recommend Coast Guard memberships, but if you can't afford one, your mate's one is just as good. And I've found this out, and I've actually put this in these. I take this podcast extremely seriously, Christian Jensen, and I test all my theories before I go and deliver them to the public. I can assure you of that.
Do you want to tell the public this theory, and how you tested it?
So Christian Jensen. So I hope no one from the Coast Guard listens to this, by the way, because if they do, there's a real loophole in your system here. Maybe they.
Oh, you mean someone abusing it? Okay, cool. Carry on.
So Christian did the right thing, got a boat, got a Coast Guard membership, did all the right things.
Jake actually sold me the Coast Guard membership when he worked at Burnsco.
I did, yes, I did, and I didn't think to get one for myself. So, I went out there on the old Bayliner one day, and went round to a bay, and what I didn't get is I started at the boat ramp, went out round a bay, got out, swam, hung out for a bit, went to move again. I was going to stay overnight. Nothing. Dead. The battery had flat. God knows how the battery had gone flat in that time, but it had. And there was no one else around in this bay to help me. And I was like, oh, geez, okay, what do I do here? You actually feel quite helpless. All of a sudden, your world goes, oh, shit.
This is bad.
Yeah, and sure, I'm not sinking, but wow, this is not good. So I called for help with the Coast Guard, who had to come from Maraitai. Now, I was in Takuma Harbour, which is on in Coromandel, effectively, and the Coast Guard had to come from Maraitai, which for those who don't know, is a long way. So, of course, if you are a Coast Guard member, being towed or having assistance offered to you is free of charge, as it should be.
Yep, it's all covered under your
membership.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not a member, it's $250 plus GST from the moment the Coast Guard leaves the dock. Keeping in mind they were in Maraitai, which is probably, I don't know, maybe an hour's run.
Oh, they would have loved.
Oh, they probably would have trawled their way over just to really drag their time over. So I was looking at maybe at $1,000 bill here.
Oh, easy.
And I was thinking, oh Jesus, I'd rather just scuttle the boat and leave. So I knew this. I was up for this because, again, as Christian mentioned, I worked for Burnsco, so I knew the risk of not having a Coast Guard membership. I knew they would send me an invoice.
This is
so anyway,
great. I love
as
this.
they turned up, they said, "Oh, what's your membership number?" And I didn't know a membership number, and I didn't and I said, "Well, my name's Christian Jensen, 4 Phoebe Place, Rotorua." And just the way I said it, and just with such conviction, the guy went, "Oh, sweet. Oh, cool."
And what happened after that? What happened after that?
Oh, they jump-started me and got me going, and I happily enjoyed the rest of my weekend on the boat, and there was no more to that story.
Oh, yeah, and then what about me getting a call later on? So I get a call later on, maybe, possibly, I don't know exactly how long after this event happened, because this is the first I actually heard of it, was, hey there, just the Coast Guard following up, how's your boating? And I said, oh, it's going good. And they said, hey, we just want to see if you've sorted out all you need to see following your incident on the water. And how do you rate our service? And I was like, your service is fantastic. Thank you. And then I called Jake straight away because I knew exactly what he had done.
Hey, you were right. The service was fantastic.
Yeah. I was like, far out. Jovers, boy.
I'm surprised you didn't ask you how the Blue Bayliner was going.
Yeah, I know, because I've been on it so many times. You were going to say, what is your most memorable moment in terms of getting stuck or something?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, all of my moments of getting into trouble on the water involve you, and all of them, bar one, your boat.
What? What?
True.
The one we ran out of electricity was on your boat out at Hunter's Bank.
Yep.
For those that don't know, that's by Kapiti Island. Christian and I went all the way out in his little ship box. Ran out of electricity. God knows what was happening because the engine was running. No,
Fine. Yeah, it was fine.
We turned it off.
Yeah. Who knows?
And the one other boat in the area, there was no other boat. We were literally alone, jigging for kingfish. The one other boat in the area came over, jump-started us.
Saving grace,
Thank
we landed
God.
some good kingies.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. But hang on, what are all these other ones? You're pretty
Okay, what about Lake Tarawera? Lake Tarawera, where you make me try to jump or connect your two batteries with like two spanners.
Yeah, look, that's
I
an
remember that. And
anti-theft
that
feature.
guy with that boat, he had like a Yami 140 on the back, a little two-banger. He towed us and he got us both on the plane. Like, that is impressive.
I had forgotten about that. I was horrifically late to a girlfriend's dinner because of that.
Yeah. We had a mean session wakeboarding, eh? It was wicked.
And you kept saying, "Don't turn the motor off, don't do that," because the battery was a bit dodgy. So again, like having
what
checked
does
the
Jake
gear
do?
before we went. Fucking got in and they haven't turned it off.
Yeah. Another boating experience. We're on the Lake Karapiro, and we've just launched this boat for Christmas, or just after Christmas. After Jake goes, "Oh, come round for a mission. Come. Oh, by the way, I need you to wire in this battery, hook up my stereo, put on some side decals, and something else." And we get down there. Oh, by the way, my forwards and reverses not hooked up. Can you hook that up for me?
Come on, you're my friend, aren't you? Yes, it does ring a bell. You're my friend. I thought you were my friend. I thought you did this.
We were on the water too.
Start
it. You start it. Yeah, it goes, and then you go put it in forwards. Oh, put it in reverse. Oh, Would you like to name any more experiences with your boating?
The sad thing about that, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit, but Christian fixed it with a nail. What had happened is the control cable had fallen off the little piece that controls the gear shifting on the engine. And there was basically a split pin that had gone missing. Christian replaced it with a galv nail that he found, I think, in the bilge of the boat or something. It was just
it was. Yeah. No, it was in your tackle box. And it was like a nail that you used to hang picture frames on your wall.
I'm embarrassed to say that is still operating. That nail is still in place and still providing forward and reverse service for the Bayliner and its new owner when it's almost on the way up, bro.
Is it sold?
It's not officially sold, but by the time this goes to air, it might have. They've got quite a bit of interest on it. One guy wants to buy it from the South Island, wants to buy it sight unseen.
Oh, let him.
I forgot. I hope he doesn't listen to this. He's got to want his money back.
Vicky's like, shut up. Well, to be honest, you've got 2 new batteries since then. And you had an overhaul. So, yeah.
Well, and sort of following on, which is going to hopefully segue into our next topic here, about our top boats for the summer.
Oh,
our top trailer boats. And the reason I wanted to do this is that I think the best thing you can do is just go out in a good boat. And I've really learnt this year with the Ray Glass. Like, again, it's probably no surprise to anyone else, but I see so many little boats out there in conditions, and you think, man, how are you guys getting on? Like, we're in the 6.5 meter Ray Glass, and we're like wearing it. We're taking some big waves. We're chugging along. We're safe, but it's bumpy and it's uncomfortable.
Well, your testicles are a testament to going out in pretty average weather on a small boat called Steve.
Yes, this story gets brought up nearly every podcast, but go on, way you go.
So we're bashing along, and Jake doesn't have a seat, so I give him a bucket, and he turns it upside down and sits on it. And I love this, hey? We're going over some chop, and little Steve, who's flat bottom tinny, and he hits a pretty big wave. Bucket cracks. A little bit of his testicle goes through the crack, and then it closes up again. And you should have seen Jake jump.
I stood up and the bucket came with me.
Do you know what's
Oh,
great is I was going through some photos today and I found that exact outing in the photo album.
is that right? Was
Yeah.
I like wrenched with pain? Was
No,
it
it's
was it
before
was
it
it
was before that. It was
pre?
before that.
Oh, it was back when I could have kids.
Oh man, that was when we were exploring what was it called?
Coromandel Harbour.
Margie's batch. Yeah, what was it, Takuma Harbour?
It was
But
Coromandel Harbour. Yeah.
yeah, Coromandel Harbour. What was the name of the point that Margie lived on?
Uh,
Our friend?
yes, it'll come to me. It's on the northern side of the Coromandel Harbour.
Beautiful way. And the other side is where big angry fish used to catch their
Yeah.
bronzies and stuff.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it just
Absolutely fantastic spot.
Long Bay,
Waiuna Bay.
Coromandel, Waiuna Bay. That's it, Waiuna Bay.
Yeah.
If anyone knows that part of the world, it's a beautiful part. Lots of great fishing and just boating in general around that
And just
place.
watch
Eh?
out for buckets and chop.
And unseaworthy boats made by aeroplane makers.
Yep, perfect.
So back to my original question, bro, and I've got my answer here, but what's your ultimate sort of trailer boat that you think, and what I mean by ultimate is like, you've seen them about a bit this summer, they represent good value for money, they, I think they sort of tick a whole lot of the boxes of what like Kiwi boating needs.
Ooh, man. So, do you want me to go just a couple that I've seen and gone, that's pretty nice?
Yeah.
Any size? Or are we playing a game like, under 5 meters over 5? Under 6 over 6?
Yeah, you could do that. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, go on then.
You would?
Give me that if you've got a few in your head.
Okay, I saw one recently and I thought for a good day's fishing, you and a mate, it's a tinny actually, and I
God.
never really rated this brand, and I thought, you know what, that's actually got a lot of space. It was a Marco?
Yeah, made
it
in
was like-
Morrinsville.
Yeah, and it was like a 4.85, and my cousin Rob's just bought it, and I initially put my nose up at it, and I just jumped in it recently, and I thought, heck, this has got more fishing space than most like 6 meter boats.
So you had the
But-
audacity to comment on Christian Jensen, who owns a calf shit brown coloured thing from about 1983.
Jacob Rees-Kerr, who owns a Bayliner Capri that used to have a Force 125 in it. There's 4 Indian boys on bloody push bikes under the cowling. Yes, Jack.
Okay,
Next
so
boat.
So you think so? Is that the Marco what 485 something or other?
Something like that. Oh, I'll send
Okay.
you the link. And I just thought, you know what? Yep,
Okay,
that's cool.
Well,
That's cool.
I'll make sure to put a picture of that on our Instagram page.
Oh, yeah,
Again,
I better
at
get it up
Naples
there.
Yep,
Yeah,
send
yeah.
that one through. I've got
Yeah.
one for you, bro, and it's
Give me
technically
it under.
not.
I want it under. It's a trailer boat. I want it under 5 meters. Come on.
Can you give me 350 mil of
Of dollars.
clearance there? No, 350 mil of like tolerance.
350 mil over 5 meters.
Yes.
100%. You can have it all day. I'll give you 2
thank
feet.
you. Okay, I think the New Zealand ultimate trailer boat for getting people on the water.
Yep.
Haynes Hunter 535.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now I used to.
This is great, man. With the little tinny, which gets people out in the harbour. The 535, which is like quintessential family boating.
Yeah, like I wouldn't own one, put it that way. But
No,
they are
but-
a great boat. And the hull design hasn't changed from about 1985 to today. They still have the same hull. It's just
Yep.
the engine on the back, because obviously the old ones have 2 strokes, the new ones have 4
And I think
strokes.
they've got a new upholstery supplier.
Yeah, and the labels change. Apart from that, they're the same. They're a big little boat, so they handle like heaps. Any Haynes Hunter. I mean, if
They're all
you're
good,
listening
eh?
from Haynes Hunter and you want a couple of people to product testers or endorsers, we're your man. We've got a lot of nice things to say.
Talk to me. This guy said he wouldn't own one, whereas I'm like, yeah, I would have one.
No, I wouldn't own one because of the size. I think 5.5 meters are
yeah,
the
no,
size.
okay, you got a 6.5, so you.
I'd go bigger. But
Yeah.
I think for a boat because they start anywhere from about 25 grand up to a new one at like, I don't know, 90 probably, I suppose. I just think if you can get one of those well looked after secondhand ones for like 30, 40 grand, that is
Yep.
everything most Kiwi families need for boating. They're unsinkable,
Great boat.
good on the lake, great for water toys, steady enough for fishing. There's like a cabin you could overnight in a pinch.
Yep.
What else do you want?
Nah, they're great, man. They seriously. But if you were to have a fiberglass boat, with an outboard. I'm going to specify outboard.
I just said it. It's a fiberglass one.
Yeah, but we're going to go a bit bigger, a bit fancier. What would you
Oh,
have?
and if I had to, well, again, I've thought long and hard about this too, and it's a bit of an obvious choice, but you cannot go past the Rayglass 2500. It's everything you need in a boat. Okay, it's got the fishing room out the back, heaps of storage underneath the seats, a separate toilet, which we're learning, Becky and I, from doing a few overnighters. A separate toilet is quite an asset because nothing confirms a relationship like having to turn the radio up quite loud and air out the cabin after committing what can only be described as a hate crime.
It's a criminal act.
And
oh, brilliant! It is 7.7 meters, so she's a big girl.
It's a big boat, but again, it's like it's a big trailer boat, but it's a small launch, and that's what you got to look at.
Does it actually have a separate toilet, like just behind the captain's helm?
Behind the helm station? Yep. Again, if you don't know this boat, I'll put a picture on our at Unable Seaman Instagram channel, or you can jump on Trade Me. They're a very common boat. Start at about 150 grand. For the slightly older ones, that they do a stern drive and an outboard model. Interesting thing, if you want a hot water shower, to get the stern drive, you can hook a hot water system off the engine, which I think is really cool, like a hot water shower. You got to think of the things. So what we're learning now is like, what are the things?
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at your comment about using the toilet. See, I imagine Becky, right? No dramas. You would make a big song and dance about it. And poor girl, you have to drop her off at the beach just to let her lie down for a moment to recover.
Well, it is like, all I can say is that it is a very confined space, and you realise like how sick, like, especially on a boat too, because you're eating like, you survive. You're eating like food you can cook in a fry pan, right? So like sausages.
You realise how sick your guts are.
You just sit there and go, if this isn't like a warning that bowel cancer is imminent, I don't know what is.
Bro. And I'm just picturing, not only that, you have to punish yourself and your lovely partner. And I really feel sorry for Becky right now. I'm just laughing so much. I feel sorry.
Luckily though,
but then you've got to clean it out later.
No, you don't. It's not a macerator. So for those that don't know, you drop your load, so to speak. It pumps salt water into the bowl, does a big sucky thing which sucks it out, and it macerates it with these teeth, and then spits it out another seacock on the other side of the hull. So effectively, it minces your shit up and fires it out.
Your one doesn't actually hold the poo at all?
No, God no. I don't want poo held on board.
That's what my
bowel's for. No, if I'm holding poo, it's in my bowel.
Bro, that is so bad. If you're like sitting outside Puka and you need to go for a nuggie, you've got to what? You've got to like head out into the open.
No.
You just do it in Puka Bay?
Yes.
That is horrific. That is so bad. That is the 90s right there. That is not acceptable in any way, shape or form.
I did
oh my God.
Port Harbour with 200 boats. I think everyone does that.
Did you actually? No, they don't.
Did I actually? Like, I've done it all. I've done it for the last 2 nights I've been out there. What do you think I've been shooting?
You're so not allowed to. You're like, you've got to hold that and be like within, until you go out with like 30 nautical miles or something. It's something ridiculous. 30
nautical miles?
I'm going to find this where it's like you cannot dump poo in the Bay of Islands. Okay, hang on, look at this. Dumping.
Hang on, 30. So what? I've got to decide.
Black. Well, no, it's because your system's from the 90s, bro.
So hang on, 30 nautical miles. Bullshit.
It's something ridiculous.
So what you're doing is you're saying the day before that I might need to have a shit.
Hold up.
Well, anyway,
Boats,
I haven't.
Sewage discharges. I'm going to find this. This is great. I just love that you admitted to that.
I just do it there and then. It's great.
You can watch your poo.
You can hang out the side and see a big brown cloud go past. And then what you got to do, because toilet paper clog, you got to like flush often with the toilet paper. So you get, it's like just little flakes of toilet paper, and your shit is just like, it's just like cloud. You know how you like pour a coffee into the water? It's just like that. I figure it was sort of feeding the fish. I thought I was doing my piece for, like environmentalism.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yarns at 30 nautical miles. The hell long? That'll take you 4 hours. You'd have shit yourself by then.
Marine pollution. Here we go. I've got it. Okay. You need vessel sewage management. Under northern rules, it is illegal to stay overnight in within the marine pollution limits, even at anchor, without proper way of treating or containing your boat's sewage. Can I discharge here? No. You've got to be outside 0.27 nautical miles from the marine discharge area, and it has to be in water greater than 5 meters deep. So it's 0.27 nautical miles, not 30. So yeah, and there's a big map, and you've got to be outside Urapuka. I'll give you a snippet. This is so. I'm going to give you the link, bro. I'm going to give you the link. You need to read up about your own area.
So what you're saying is at 3 a.m. I need a shit. I need to get up, pull the anchor, motor out to God knows where, and. Do
you know what? That's not my problem. That's your problem because you need a blackwater tank of 25 litres or more.
I don't have blackwater tank. I don't want to hold on to it. If I'm holding on to it, I just hold on to it inside me. And
you do. That's what it says.
Then on the boat.
That's what it says. This is brilliant.
Keep it stored and row it ashore. I'm not rowing my own excrement ashore. I don't want to be in a dinghy with it.
Oh, this is great. This is great.
There's an app.
Yeah, there's an app, so you know where to pump your poo.
Well, if you're buying a boat and you want to stay overnight, turns out you can't just go.
Because I thought you had a cartridge toilet.
No, God, no. I used to have one of those. It was awful. Don't forget about it and have to dump it at home in the paddock.
Yeah. Gross, eh? Yeah, bro. So you are actually acting illegally.
So another unable seaman top tip: if you are heading on the water this summer and you do want to do an overnighter, make sure you're 0.27. Basically, just have a shit before you go out, and then just don't stay over. Just do a day trip. Just make sure you.
Vicky must be laughing right now, going, "Oh my God."
Maybe plan some fibre in your diet the night before so that you just can drop it in the wet morning and then go. Or
put an iron bar through it and get a snack.
Oh God! Oh, we've gone.
Anyway,
how did our serious podcast
segue into something else, bro? Segue into something else. This is getting to dangerous territory.
Okay, so the Rayglass 2500 is my.
Yeah, I really like that, and I'd go in terms of a step down from the Rayglass 2500 in size, but like a large day boatie. I still love the Centurion, CSB Centurion.
Yep.
Yeah, and the Crusader.
Yep. Yeah, we're big fans of Huntsman on this podcast, as you know, and if they still do listen, kia ora, sorry for the last 5 minutes. We've sort of checked about my bowel movements. But if you are still listening and you're from Huntsman, hello. We're enjoying our Centurion, and Mum and Dad have just got back from a cycle. Just side note, from a cycle thing down in Lake Benmore, around that area, and they said the Huntsmans and Bayliners down there, that they were everywhere. So really good to see that product being used, and they get to see an Excalibur, a Huntsman Excalibur in the flesh. And we've talked about that boat on this podcast before as well. If you have not seen one of them in the flesh, get on their website or get on YouTube and have a look. That is one of our ultimate New Zealand boats.
Epic, eh? Inboard, big inboard, normally a big Mercury, eh? Beautiful.
Yeah. Ultimate day boat. That would be our ultimate day boat. The boats we mentioned before, the Rayglass and that, we just think they're slightly more well-rounded in terms of you want to go out and stay overnight.
Like an overnighter. They actually have a facility to hold your toilets, whatever, before they can do that.
That sounds like something to go wrong, really. Like if I don't want to dig this up too much. So you take it out of you, the excrement, and then it goes into another holding tank. And then what? What if you forget to dump it and you take it home on the trailer?
Yeah, you can take it on the trailer. Yeah. Well, now if you have a look at that link that I've given you, where can I discharge? And you scroll down, and there are discharge pump out points at most of the main, what do you call it, marinas. So Whangaroa, Doves Bay, Opua, Tutukaka, Whangarei, and Marsden Cove. There you go. If you want to do it on the water.
Do when I come in. If I come in off the water, I'm tired. I want to go home. I've come in and I've had enough.
I wonder if I need to talk to Becky in terms of it being the new podcast host, because this guy, jeepers.
Well, you've actually set up for a beautiful segue there, because Becky obviously is a woman, and maybe the only way this podcast can actually move forward is to be up with the times and have a woman on board. Which brings me to my next and final topic that I've got for today, which is Sea Ray have designed a new model designed exclusively by women.
Okay.
It's the Sea Ray SLX 260. Again, we'll put a picture on our Unable Seaman YouTube channel. If you do want to have a read about this particular book, it's in the boating magazine here for November, if you want to go back and have a look at that. Now,
that's a
what's
nice looking boat.
thing about that
is a nice looking boat.
It's a very good looking boat. It's a brilliant looking boat. There's a couple of problems with it. Okay. First of all,
it reminds me of those Yamaha boats, you know?
Yep.
That I like.
That's not the problem. Can you guess the problem with that boat? This is not going down a sexist route, by the way. We'll come back to the woman designers in a minute. Can you tell me what you think, looking at that boat straight away, what you think the biggest problem with that? A 26-foot bow rider.
Mm-hmm. But so Rayglass 2500, 26 foot, over 7 meters. So she's pretty big. She's bloody big.
I'll give you a clue.
Yeah.
How much should I say you could pick up a Rayglass 25-foot boat for on trade?
You said like second hand, like 150.
Yeah, 150 grand.
A
well-rounded boat.
This is brand new. So what does a brand new Rayglass cost you?
250, maybe 300 for a high spec one. I would have thought. No, I'd say 250.
Oh, so I'd say you wouldn't get much change looking at this here, and it's upholstery. Jeepers, it'd like be 280, 300k easy.
You're wrong.
Oh no, more.
Oh, packages from, so this means basic. That's basic.
That's no engine, basically. Oh no.
There's a stern drive. You do get the stern drive. I don't know if this includes trailer. From $495,000. So $500,000 for a bow rider.
You can get a Dickie 32 for that.
I don't care if it's designed by a woman. I don't care if it's designed by anyone. 26-foot bow rider. Okay.
First of all, Sea Ray is not a premium brand when it comes to, in my mind, and that is a premium price for a bow rider.
In the ranking of world boat, I would. Sea Ray is sort of middle of the market. It's a Bayline of your more entry level Sea Ray, that next run up. But I just think you think of some of the other Tristram 690 Cabriolet.
Rather have that.
A little bit smaller. Rather have that. Oh look, what do they go for? I don't know, 200 grand maybe max. I don't think.
Not even. I reckon
150,
160.
Yeah. The Huntsman we just mentioned, the Excalibur. Like, okay, that's not a bow rider, but it's effectively the same thing with the stern drive.
My dad's 5.5 meter bow rider cost him 12 grand.
Cool.
Used by women, but not designed by women.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that and then have a house as well.
So if we can just put the price to one side, so no one's going to buy that, first of all. Not New Zealand, anyway. In America, it'll sell. What do you think some of the key things women... So most boats are designed by men.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think women have done differently to this boat? You've not read the article, I have, and I'm going to put it to you.
You know
first.
what? I reckon they've got seats that look at each other, and they sort of, the captain's seat and the other seat turn around, and they can like talk in circles.
Yeah, you're not a million miles away from it. The seating is one of the things they've done.
You know what's funny is I heard Vicky in the background just giggling away, eh?
Yeah. So one of the photos has a scatter cushion. So the boat has a scatter cushion. You know on your couch, you got your couch. Men won't know this. You got a couch, and then you've got
clearly do. Do you go see a gynecologist?
I know a little bit about interior design, but on a couch you have like your decorative cushions. They're called a scatter cushion. They're a decorative cushion. This boat has one of them.
Oh.
Which, first of all, is going to get lost. But second of all, who wants a scatter cushion on a boat?
Well, that's exactly, it's going to get lost. That's a horrific idea.
Okay, can
Well,
you?
I've learned now about scatter cushion. I'm going to look up some photos. Oh my gosh, it's a
Surely
bow
Chelsea
rider,
has.
and it's got like L-shaped seating. Ugh,
Yeah.
and it's oh my gosh, like
They face each other. Christian, you are no wonder women love you. You're right inside women's heads. Okay.
mate, and it's got one of these tables. Like, okay, when is a table a good idea on a boat of that size?
I wouldn't quite. I know what you're going to say about the table's not a pedestal table. It comes out from the side. It's like a socket table, which I agree is an absolute pain in the ass. A socket table, for those to give you a bit of a picture, a pedestal table where the table's there and there's a pedestal effectively underneath. We're cool with that. But a table that comes out on a socket, I don't trust. I
Yeah.
don't trust. If it's removable like that, it's going to fall over. As soon as you put something heavy on it, it's going to fall over. Okay.
Yep.
Again, so that's one feature. So they designed the whole boat. So it wasn't just seating. What else do you think these all-woman Sea Ray designers did to this boat?
Lots of cup holders for martinis.
Yes, you're right. You are right. There's lots of cup holders, but
Oh.
that's not exclusive to women. That's American boats. Americans are afraid of holding a
Okay,
cup.
they
We know
definitely
this.
have there. They've got this like lounging area on the back.
Yeah, sunbathing.
Sunbathing. A big loungy area on the back.
Yes, that is. Again, I wouldn't say that's unique to the.
I know what they've got. They've got toe spacing just to remind them of being in the kitchen.
And we're off the air. No, they've actually done so. You think that I'm being facetious here and I'm trying to lead you on. They have come up with some genuine good ideas. One being, a lot of these boats have spaces for hard coolers, for chili bins we call them, okay? Problem is, they're bloody hard to carry. Whoever's carried a full chili bin by themselves knows this. So they've gone away from that and they've got this recess for soft cooler bags that you can put over your arms. You can have one like a strap, like a satchel type thing that you can fill up at home, and there's a dedicated space for them on the water. That strikes me as a bloody good idea.
You mean like a kill tank would do the same thing where you can put chiller bags? But
Well,
you can
come
give
on,
it a different name if you
it's
want.
the first, I'm trying to talk up these women who designed this boat here. Wait, don't just
Okay, cool.
mansplain
No,
it
no,
about-
shut up. Carry on. Yep, sorry. You mean a place to put bags? Oh my gosh, what a brilliant idea.
Well, look, they've had their first crack at it. Okay, let's just let.
Okay, carry on. Give me some more.
Um,
I do really like the seating detailing. Like that is damn sexy.
to be honest, bro, it's if you looked at the 2021 Sea Ray SLX 260 and you looked at the new one designed by a woman, there is no difference.
Oh, so what did they do?
Made a big song and dance that it was designed by a woman.
Oh, so maybe the first one was designed by a woman and they just thought now's a good time to plug it.
Maybe.
Or maybe it wasn't.
Anyway, moving on before we get cancelled. In our final boat, one boat that I really want to talk about, and you've reminded me a key point of it, is the Legacy L70.
Oh,
70
yes.
stands. Christian's having a little crisis over there. L70 stands for 70 foot. It is a gigantic sports fisher. Think, I'll put a picture on our at Unable Seaman. Think Riviera 70 foot. But what's a Riviera made of?
Glass.
What's this made of?
Aluminium.
Aluminium. Our good friends at Extreme Boats have, I don't know if it's a subsidiary company or under the same umbrella, but they have built a boat called a Legacy L70, a 70-foot alloy sports fisher. One of the best looking boats, I think, this summer. Okay.
Really?
We know Extreme build a pretty good boat. They ride rubbish, but I think that wouldn't be a problem with this.
Well,
What
it's
a cool
so
boat.
huge. Yeah, man. Really? Man. And it's a planing hull too, isn't it? Like
The
she's a
planing
big
hull.
girl.
Yeah, and some really cool.
Do you got
cool
any? Have you
features.
got any specs on it? Can you whack out some
I can
specs
give
for
you
us?
some specs. I knew you'd ask that. But I can't give you a price. They won't give us
No,
a
of
price
course
here.
of course you're not going to get a price. That's a
But-
couple mil away, or even more. Sure.
So, engines, twin-man V12 1900 horsepower diesels.
Say that again.
It's a twin V12 1900 horsepower diesels.
2,000 horsepower, basically.
So 2,000 times 2, so just under 4,000 horsepower. Okay,
Ooh.
fuel, 9,000 litres. 9,000 litres. Now, how much is diesel at the moment?
$2.20. Yep. So
Do
you're
the
looking at
maths
18. You're looking at like 20 grand
to fill it
to
up.
fill it. Yep. That's nuts.
1,000 litres of water. That's not all that interesting. What we want to know then is what we want to look
Is
up.
how many bags, like chiller bags, can you carry on? Yeah. Do they
You are a
have
prick.
seats that
You're a
can
prick.
face each other?
To talk. Men don't talk, though. Men don't go on a boat to talk. We're going to do something, not to sit around and talk. Okay? I'm trying to work out what. Here we go.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Trolling speed, 8.5 knots. Paragon, which is the name of the boat, sips
Right, yeah.
just 3 litres per nautical mile. So with 9,000 litres of diesel, her potential range is impressive.
Okay, to give you perspective, the
Wait, no, hang on. I want your maths. I want your maths.
You know, but I'm going to give you perspective. So that's 3 litres a nautical mile. The Dickey Semifly 45 does 2 litres a nautical mile at 26 knots. Just, perspective. And a normal powerboat does about 1 litre a nautical mile. So that's actually, I know it's only doing 8 knots, but that's still bloody impressive because that's a 70-foot boat.
It's pretty good for game fishing. That's a seriously
4,000 horsepower, basically.
It's a serious setup. It's a
Yeah.
serious setup. But anyway, cool to see a New Zealand manufacturer building a boat that big. I mean, would you call it a production boat? Probably ish. I suppose they would like to say it's custom, but yeah,
They've built one so far, so they could probably build another one.
They built another one. I'm sure there's a bit of wiggle room for customers in that, but it's cool to see someone taking on the big gun, Riviera, Maritimo, these guys.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about your thing before. Let's do the maths in terms of, okay, you've got a 9,000 litre tank, and you do 3 litres per nautical mile. How many nautical miles can you get? This sounds like Jake being a teacher.
Yeah, exactly. And I have to quickly work it out before some kid does.
Yeah, exactly.
They work it out in about 20 seconds. I wouldn't know if they're right or not.
No. I'd love to just sit in one of your classes, and just give you shit the whole time.
I teach
Christian,
PE, so
get out in the hallway.
in the hallway. What do I teach in 1964?
Yeah. Go see the principal.
Anyway, bro, we probably should wrap it up for this episode. I just want to say thank you so much to all our listeners who have tuned in for part 2. Sorry it was a wee while coming. Christmas got in the way, and then boating got in the way, and we've been out there doing it.
Yeah, it's been good.
If you're enjoying the content, please reach out to us. We love hearing from people. Reach out. We have this on at what's it called? Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We
YouTube.
also put the YouTube link up as well. With this we're recording on a new thing today, so whether we can get a video that can go to YouTube is TBC. But if you want to go to our YouTube channel anyway, that's Unable Seaman. We're trying to put as much content as we can. Okay, I've got the jet ski versus car race and a few other bits and pieces there, and we are absolutely going to be filming Christian trying to foil in a couple of weeks' time. So make sure you tune in for that. I've got the drone ready to capture the moment his spleen splits across the lake.
Is this just punishment for
and all the women all the women around the world will laugh collectively.
Abilities.
I've covered some good ground today, though. And,
hey man, we've done safety on the water.
Yeah.
Coast good plug for Coast Guard. We've also learnt about the marine waste zones in the Bay of Islands, and maybe you want to share that marine pollution link on the app too. There's a lot of boaties that cruise out in the water.
Well, I feel a bit hypocritical if I share it, but I will post it on our page. And if you see, I'm not going to say the name of my boat now because people are going to be looking for me out there and some watching if I'm crapping in the right spot or not.
Brilliant.
But anyway, once again, thanks for listening. We really appreciate your support, and we'll try and do one of these in a month's time. But knowing us, we'll see you when we see you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Goodbye.
See you.
Cool, so I've hit stop.